Good morning, everybody. We are in 1 Samuel 10, page 289-ish in the scriptures. Dealing with Samuel and Saul, Saul, or however you say that name in the Hebrew. And Samuel took a flask of oil and poured it on his head. Whose head? Shaul's head. The anointing. Yeah, Shaul's head. That's from Samuel 9. 1 Samuel 9. And kissed him. It said not like they didn't like make out. They weren't throwing tongue at each other or anything. It was just, like their Mediterranean, Middle Eastern kiss on each cheek kind of thing. It is not because Yahweh has anointed. Is it not because Yahweh has anointed you leader over his inheritance? When you lead me today, you shall find 2 men by Rachel's burial place in the border of Benjamin, at Selthah. There you go. And they shall say to you, the donkeys which you went to look for have been found, and see, your father has left the matters of your donkeys and is worrying about you, saying, what shall I do for my son? Now Shaul wasn't looking for some donkeys that ran away. While Shaul was looking for donkeys that ran away, Samuel was praying to Yah, saying, I gotta have somebody to lead this thing called Israel because I'm too old to do it, and I'm not gonna be that good at it anyway, and there is no other righteous man. And then here comes Shaul walking by, and the spirit of Yah lands on Samuel and goes, that's the guy. And Samuel goes, okay, if that's the guy, I'll anoint him. And so he does. And so Shaul's kind of like, hey man, I'm just out on a donkey hunt. And Samuel's like, no, Yah's got way bigger plans for you than a donkey hunt. And so now Shaul's father is like, forget the donkeys, where's my kid at? Okay. And you pass on from there and beyond, and shall come to the terebinth tree of Tabor. And 3 men going up to Elohim at Bethel shall find you there, one bearing 3 young goats, another bearing 3 loaves of bread, and another bearing a skin of wine. They shall greet you and give you 2 loaves of bread, which you shall accept from their hand. After that, go to the hill of Elohim, where the Philistine watchpost is. And it shall be, when you come there, to the city, you shall meet a group of prophets coming down from the high place, with a stringed instrument, and a tambourine, and a flute, and a lyre before them. And they are prophesying. And the spirit of Yahweh shall come upon you, and you shall prophesy with them, and be turned into another man. Excuse me, COVID. And it shall be, when these signs come to you, do for yourself as your hand finds to do, for Elohim is with you. So Samuel is saying to Shaul, Samuel being the old man, the priest, he said, here's what's going to happen. You're going to go here, you're going to see these things, experience these things, and you will see that I'm not full of bullcrap. And when you do, the spirit of Yahweh is going to come on you, and you are going to become a new man. At this point, do as you see fit, because God is with you. And you shall go down before me to Gilgal, and see, I am coming down to you to offer sending offerings and slaughterings of peace offerings. Wait 7 days till I come to you. Then I shall make known to you what you should do. So go up there, wait a week. I'll see you in a week. Sounds good, I got stuff to do. And it came to be, when he had turned back to go from Samuel, that Elohim gave him another heart. And all those signs came on that day. Elohim gave him another heart. That's a hell of a way of putting it. He changed him from the inside out. We know from the teachings of Yeshua, Jesus, that really what we need to be dealing with is a heart condition. Love the Lord your God with everything you've got. That's a heart condition. What is the condition of your heart? And love your neighbor as yourself. That's a heart condition. You have to have it in here before it ever gets to here. Okay? So Father Yah gives Saul, a new heart. And all those signs came on that day. And they came there to the hill and saw a group of prophets to meet him. And the spirit of Elohim came upon him, and he prophesied in their midst. So what Samuel had said to Shaul is coming true. And it came to be, all who knew him formerly looked and saw that he was prophesying among the prophets. So the people said to each other, what is this that has come to the son of Kish? Is Shaul also among the prophets? They're like, that's Shaul prophesying. What's up with that? And a man there answered and said, and who is their father? That is why it became a proverb, is Shaul also among the prophets? And when he stopped prophesying, he went to the high place, the temple. And the uncle of Shaul asked him and his servant, where did you go? And when he said to look for the donkeys, so he runs into his uncle. His uncle's like, where the heck have you been, man? Because I wasn't looking for the donkeys. When we saw that they were nowhere to be found, we went to Samuel. And the uncle said to Shaul, please inform me what Samuel said to you. And Shaul said to his uncle, he informed us plainly that the donkeys had been found, which he did. But he did not disclose to him about the matter of the kingdom, what Samuel had said. So Shaul didn't tell his uncle at all what Samuel had said regarding Shaul being anointed as king. He's just like, oh yeah, we found the donkeys. 2 thumbs up, Uncle Bob. And Samuel called the people together to Yahweh at Mitzpah, and said to the children of Israel, thus said Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, I have brought Israel up out of Mitzrayim, and delivered you from the hand of the Mitzrites, and from the hand of all kingdoms, and from those who oppressed you. And today you have rejected your Elohim, who himself saved you out of all of your evils and your distress. And you have said to him, no, but set a king over us. And now present yourselves before Yahweh by your tribes and by your clans. And Samuel brought near all the tribes of Israel, and the tribes of Benjamin was selected. And then he brought near the tribe of Benjamin by their clans, and the clans of Matri was taken, or selected. And Shaul, son of Kish, was taken. And when they sought him, he could not be found. So Samuel's picking a king in front of all of Israel at this point. And he picked Samuel, and Samuel's nowhere to be found. And I asked Yahweh, has the man come here yet? And Yahweh answered, see, he has hidden in the baggage. Can you imagine you're hiding because you're a young man and you're afraid, and you're like, literally the priest says to God, where is Bob? And God answers back and goes, he's hiding in the luggage. I would imagine Bob, or in this case, Shaul, was a little embarrassed. I would have been. And they ran and brought him from there, and he stood in the middle of the people. And he was taller than any of the other people from his shoulders and upward. And Samuel said to all the people, do you see him whom Yahweh has chosen, that there is no one like him among the people? And all the people shouted and said, let the king live. And Samuel declared to the people the rulings of the kingdom, and wrote in the book and placed it before Yahweh. And Samuel sent all the people away, each one to his house. And Shaul went to his own house too, to Giva. And with him went brave men whose hearts Elohim had touched. So he's got a following now, and brave men whose hearts Elohim had touched, meaning that the father prepared some other people to look out for Shaul as well. But the sons of Baal said, what? Does this one save us? And they despised him and brought him no presents. But he kept silent. It's all right, sons of Baal. We got you. Chapter 11, which is a short one, but kind of important in the context of Shaul, King Saul. Good morning, potato. And Nahash the Ammonite. Nahash, that's a name. Where's the last time we saw that name? The Garden of Eden. It means serpent, snake, the Nahash. And Nahash the Ammonite. So Saul gets crowned king of Israel, and he's fixing to have an issue with the serpent. Interesting. And Nahash the Ammonite came up and camped against Yavesh Gilead. And the men of Yavesh said to Nahash, make a covenant with us, and we shall serve you. Hey man, let's work out some terms. Then Nahash the Ammonite answered them, said, for this I make a covenant with you, that I dig out all of your right eyes, and I shall bring reproach upon Israel. He's like, you want to make a deal? That's fine. I will pluck out every one of y'all's right eyes. And the elders of Yavesh said to him, leave us alone for 7 days, so that we shall send messengers to all the borders of Israel. And then if there is no one to save us, we shall come out to you. They said, okay, can we press pause for a week? And Nahash was like, sure. And so the children of Israel are like, cool, we'll see if we're going to fight or get our eyes plucked out. Just give us a moment to decide. And the messengers came to Giva of Shaul and spoke the words in the hearing of the people. And all the people lifted up their voices and wept. So the people in Shaul's hometown are getting a little worked up that Nahash is going to pluck people's eyeballs out. And look, Shaul was coming from behind, from the herd of the field, and Shaul said, why are the people weeping? What's up, man? And they related to him the words of the men of Yavesh. And the spirit of Elohim came upon Shaul mightily as he heard these words, and his displeasure burned greatly. I love it when men in the Bible get pissed because the spirit comes on them. The spirit is love, brother. Yeah, it's that, and it's also being righteously pissed and lopping people's heads off with battle axes because the Father Yah said you should. Yeah. It's not just love, brother. And he took a yoke of cattle and cut them in pieces and sent them throughout the border of Israel by the hands of messengers, saying, whoever does not go out with Shaul and Samuel to battle, let this be done to his cattle. So the king, Shaul, young man, cuts up a couple of cows, sends them all throughout Israel and says, see these cows? I'm going to cut your cows up into pieces too if you don't come to battle. So says your king. And the fear of Yahweh fell on the people, and they came out as one man. They came out in unison. And he mustered them in Bezek, and the children of Israel were 300,000, and the men of Yehuda of Judah 30,000. And they said to the messengers who came, say this to the men of Yavesh Gilead. Tomorrow, by the time the sun is hot, you shall have help. Yavesh Gilead being the town where Nahash, the eye plucker, is camped outside of, waiting on an answer. So Shaul says, hey, let them know, by the time the sun gets warm tomorrow, you shall have help. Then the messengers came and informed the men of Yavesh, and they rejoiced. So the men of Yavesh said, tomorrow we come out to you, and you shall do to us whatever seems good to you. So, all right, Mr. Nahash, man, we'll see you tomorrow. And it came to be on the next day that Shaul put the people in 3 companies, and they came into the midst of the camp in the morning watch and struck Ammon being the Ammonites, Nahash, the eye plucker, and struck Ammon until the heat of the day. And it came to be that those left were scattered, so that no 2 of them were left together. So the people of Yavesh Gilead said to the Ammonites, hey, we will see you tomorrow for a parlay. We'll let you know what we're doing. And they were like, okay, sounds good. Well, before tomorrow midday happened, the children of Israel, 300,000 of them in 3 companies, attacked during the morning watch while they were still in camp and scattered them. And it came to be that those who were left were scattered, so that no 2 of them were left together. And the people said to Samuel, who said, shall Shaul reign over us? Bring the men so that we put them to death. They're like, who thought that this kid couldn't be our king? Whoever said that, drag him over here so we can kill him. But Shaul said, no man is put to death this day, for today Yahweh has wrought deliverance in Israel. And Samuel said to the people, Come, and let us go to Gilgal, and renew the kingdom there. And all the people went to Gilgal, and there they set up Shaul to reign before Yahweh in Gilgal. And there they slaughtered slaughterings of peace offerings before Yahweh. And there Shaul rejoiced, and all the men of Israel, very greatly. So Shaul wins his first victory here, and is, in chapter 10, anointed by Samuel. And then chapter 11 executes on that anointing on behalf of the children of Israel to keep the Nahash, the eye plucker, from destroying the people, the Israelites of Yavesh Gilead. It's interesting how this young man, the spirit of Yah comes over him. He's dedicated before Yah, and then he's tried by the Nahash, the enemy. Just like Yeshua in Matthew 3, I think it is, receives he's baptized, and the sky opens up, and the Father says, "This is my Son in whom I delight." And the Spirit descends like a dove. And then in chapter 4, he's in the wilderness being tried by the enemy, the Nahash. Yeah. It's almost as if there's congruency in this word from the first page to the last page. It's almost as if the Father has messages in there that he's been telling us for millennia. So, Shaul did a good job. Flipping the script on the Nahash, and 0 eyes were plucked from the heads of the children of Israel. Bless y'all. See you next week. Shalom.